What's the logic of the PRT parking at the top of the parking garage? And I have them on camera several times.
Thank you for submitting those videos. Actually, out of those videos, I've addressed several of my officers.
When you upload that, you're gonna be sued civilly. Do me a favor, please not. You're dismissed. Keep it moving, bro.
Go back in there. You're gonna be arrested.
No. How bad do you want to talk to my sir?
It's HIPAA.
If you're back up, I'm not gonna say you can't.
We as citizens truly appreciate everything they do. Major O'Donnell right there, but our command staff and all of our officers, we truly appreciate it. So thank you, Jeff. I'd like to go ahead and call up Lieutenant Raul Martinez from our priority response team.
It's a pleasure to be back in Kendall. A quick story on Major O'Donnell. When I was a young officer in 2006, I was on the promotional list. And I actually came to Kendall District, and she was my major here. And when I got promoted, I went to get my stripe. She pulled me in the office and said, "Hey, you're doing such a good job here in the Kendall District. Would you like to stay as a sergeant?" Being that time, I lived about 2 turns from the station. I said, "Absolutely." And I actually stayed through when her husband came here as my major in my second tour in Kendall. So, so like I said, my name is Raul Martinez. I run the priority response team. I'm a lieutenant, one of 2 lieutenants there. And a lot of you may be asking, you guys probably see the cars all the way through. We're marked with the nice red lettering on the side. I know we don't have one here, but it says priority response team on the side. You're probably asking what that is, right? And in light of the instances in Uvalde that just developed, we've gotten a lot more popular, right? Basically, we were created as a unit after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas tragedy. We were created as a response mechanism by the Miami-Dade Police Department in order to have a secondary response capability to any critical incidents within Miami-Dade County. The first original lieutenant here was Lieutenant Joel Bell. He took the program and kicked it off, and the original officers was about 36 officers. We have since then grown to 72 officers, and we have about 8 officers, 1 sergeant, and 2 lieutenants all throughout Miami-Dade County. So every district in Miami-Dade County has a priority response team within. Now, you ask, what do? We don't just, we're waiting for that critical incident to respond. At first it was, okay, we're waiting for a school shooting. If you haven't seen the news lately, there hasn't been a school shooting in Miami-Dade, an active shooter in Miami-Dade. So that quickly morphed into, we started responding to any critical incident that goes out of Miami-Dade. My officers are there pretty much from 8 in the morning all the way till sometimes 3 in the morning, able to respond to critical incidents anywhere within Miami-Dade County. I've been working with these folks for a long time now, and it's our honor to serve you guys. I know there's a lot of questions, so I'm gonna open up the floor if anybody has any questions for the priority response. Yes, sir.
The PRT, they were also involved in the UPS truck driver incident. You know which one I'm talking about? In December 2019. I've requested records from FDLE, and they haven't been able to give them to me. Is there anything you guys can release about that?
No, sir. That's a pending investigation. You have to go with FDLE and the Federal Bureau of Investigations.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Ordonez's family is suing 6 police agencies. Their attorneys say an independent witness who was next to the UPS truck has told them what happened after the truck was boxed in.
The police shot first. They shot first, they came right by that car, and they unloaded on the UPS truck.
Then took Ordonez hostage, fleeing north. More than 20 miles later, they found themselves caught in heavy traffic. With cars all around, police can be seen in these photos crouching next to vehicles.
To see the terror on these innocent bystanders, these drivers' faces as they don't know what is occurring.
70-year-old Richard Cutshaw, who was in his vehicle going home from work, was also killed in the chaos. And Ordonez's lawyers are representing his family, too.
They lost their lives due to the absolute pure recklessness.
Sir?
So PRT, when you consider
a priority incident, what would you mark those as?
So basically what we would consider that would require or trigger a response for us is anything where violence is happening. So whether it be somebody armed with a gun, someone with a knife, anywhere where there's a propensity for violence, our units would respond. We would respond as a response capability behind our uniformed officers. So basically it's an intermediate tactical team in between the road supervisor, or I'm sorry, the road unit and our special response team, which is Miami-Dade's version of the SWAT team.
And do you have, do you have different qualifications than a normal, let's say, responding officer, or like different skill sets, or?
Yes, sir, I'm glad you asked that, because training is a huge aspect of what goes into a priority response team officer. Every 8 weeks, pretty much, my entire unit cycles through 40 hours of training. We model ourselves after the Miami-Dade Mass Casualty Attack Training Program, and we just sharpen our skills within that. So that means interior building clearing, shooting, medical, which is a huge asset to Miami-Dade, because not only do we serve as handling the tactical problem, we also save lives in the fact that we conduct medical on a variety of calls. I can't give you an exact number, I don't have them exactly, but I would venture to say it's over 100 lives that we've saved, that we've provided medical intervention on calls.
Are you folks also like a model for other parts? Like, was this set up like as unique to Miami-Dade County, and now it's other counties, or?
So basically, when Marjorie Stoneman Douglas happened, there was a committee that was formed here in Miami-Dade. I was not part of the original committee, but we looked at different teams throughout the entire United States. We did research on the Los Angeles Police Department, New York City. Anybody that had something to bring to the table, we looked at them, asked them for their policies, asked them for their training requirements, and we modeled our own unit out of that. We took what worked, we threw out what didn't, and we made ourselves into that unit.
Thank you.
Sure.
How is your unit different from SRT?
So the special response team is a specialized team dedicated to doing warrants. They do hostage situations and barricaded subjects. They are not assigned out on the road. All right, so the special response team is not driving around all the time. They are usually in training, conducting specialized operations, warrants, and specialized events. We are on the road, boots on ground, every day. So the difference is you will get a response from a priority response team member almost immediately as that call goes out. So we provide that response capability to back up our brothers and sisters in uniform patrol.
Thank you.
Sir, I already have a question.
So you mentioned there hasn't been any school shootings, in Miami, and
An active shooter.
active shooters. Is that because are you guys, is your squad, in your department, are they in different schools, patrolling the areas or schools?
That's a great question. In addition to our patrol responsibilities, my unit serves as threat assessment group officers for the charter schools of Miami-Dade. Whereas Miami-Dade School Board, they provide that service for Miami-Dade public schools. The charter schools do not have that, so we provide that for them. Are we there at a school every day? No, but my officers are assigned schools within their district, charter and private, and that they make contact with their administrations, and they make sure that they keep abreast of all the things that are happening.
So charter is the same thing as private, I guess.
Charter is actually a semi-public school that receives funds from Miami-Dade County to conduct school in the.
And private, yeah?
Private is private.
Do they get?
We do work with them. We work also with Miami-Dade Public Schools. We provide them support whenever they need it. So it's not just to say that the priority response team is just going to charter schools. If something were to go down at a public school, we're coming. And we're coming with a lot of.
And charter and private as well?
Anywhere, any school, anywhere in Miami-Dade County. That's a great question. Any other questions?
One final question.
Sure.
Why do I always see PRT parked at the Metro Rail station?
So one of our responsibilities that happened after the COVID-19 pandemic, the mayor, the current mayor, Levine Capa, she wanted extra presence on the rim at those stations and throughout Miami-Dade County. So in response to that, the priority response team provides 14 on-duty officers during the day shift and 6 on-duty officers during the afternoon shift for presence on the transit system. The transit system provides, obviously, transit for a lot of Miami-Dade residents, and we're there to assist them, keeping them safe.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Very good, sure. We have a working relationship with them where we will respond to any critical incidents, even in Miami-Dade public schools. We make contact with those officers constantly and through their command staff, not only at the officer level, but also at my level, through our lieutenants and also our Homeland Security. We're assigned to the Homeland Security Bureau, which handles threats against different schools. We make constant contact with them, making sure that if there's anything that they need, us being the largest agency within Miami-Dade County, we offer our support for anything that they might need. And if there is an event, we do respond to it. Good? Any other questions?
I got one more.
Sir?
Do they equip you guys with SWAT, AK-47 materials you can fight? Because all these guys are, coming out.
Another great question. So what sets a priority response team officer aside, different from a road officer? We have a little bit more specialized equipment in terms of body armor, our ballistic helmets. We have hearing protection. We do have short barrel rifles that we do carry, but our uniformed officers carry the same caliber and the same weapon. But in terms of what makes us different, I would say our training. We have the opportunity to train more. We have a comprehensive training program that gives it just that little extra edge.
For these type of scenarios, do they usually use SWAT teams in these type of occasions? Or is that?
I'm sorry, in what's it?
In, school shooting occasions or any type of crazy occasion?
So,
doesn't have to be school shootings.
If an actual event were to happen in Miami-Dade County, and I pray they never have to use us for that, the SWAT team will be responding. We will probably get there a little faster because we are actually embedded into the district. We will mitigate that threat as fast as possible. Just like every officer that you see in this room, they're all trained in the same program that we are trained. The only thing that would set us apart from that is we train it more often. But every officer you see in this room, I guarantee will not hesitate to take that action. Yes, sir.
This is a permanent unit or this is temporary?
So the priority response team is a permanent unit.
Permanent, okay.
We do, we were actually created through the commission.
Okay.
For that reason.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
The charter schools, they have their own police officers. Miami-Dade does not service them unless it's an emergency. How do you collaborate with that police officer
So
who's assigned to that particular school?
that's a great question. So usually what happens is the charter school usually hires an off-duty. If it's within an unincorporated Miami-Dade County, it would be a Miami-Dade police. If it's inside of an incorporated city, usually it will be from that unincorporated city or the Florida Highway Patrol in a lot of cases as well, like True North. They contract the Florida Highway Patrol. All of our radio systems are interconnected. So if an incident were to occur, whatever municipality they were from, they would have communication with us. So also, if somebody calls 911, it's gonna come through the Miami-Dade 911 system.
Do you have access to these buildings?
Yes, so part of being in this unit is we assign officers that actually go to these charter schools and these private schools. They conduct threat assessments where they go in and they find the best ways in, exit points, ambulance and change points, things where we can go out there and make that school safer. We also consult with the administration at those schools on how they can make themselves better. And as part of that, I can't give away the actual tactics that we use with those schools because being in the wrong hands, I know my man here is putting this on YouTube, I wouldn't want to give away those secrets.
One more thing. Now the officers that park at the train station, I have an issue. They park at the top of the garage. And I always say, if there's an emergency, it's gonna take them 5 to 10 minutes to get out of the garage, you know, especially when it's rush hour. So what's the logic of the PRT parking at the top of the parking garage? And I have them on camera several times.
Thank you for submitting those videos. Actually, out of those videos, I've addressed several of my officers. They do patrol those same stations right where you saw them at Dayland North, Dayland South in some of your videos, or in Martin Luther King. They were there conversing, but they were at that station. Usually when there's a police car around, they're not gonna see a bad guy. That's the reason we drive those cars home every day. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir.
Do you have any officers that's a trained canine handler?
So, no, we rely on the Special Patrol Bureau, the tactical canine, which I actually happen to be an ex-handler. We rely on them for canine service. We do work with them often. We back them up on pretty much, I would say about 90% of the perimeters that they conduct out. We do respond with them and supply them with backup. Anybody else? Thank you and everybody for your time.